Hello students, welcome to the online class of class 12 Political Science. In our previous class we were discussing on chapter 2, the end of bipolarity, and we have discussed up to consequences of shock therapy. Today we will resume our class with the discussion on tensions and conflicts among people after the disintegration of USSR. After the disintegration, in all those republics who got their independence in recent past, there were severe problems faced by people. They in general were reduced to so much poverty, and there was no governance. Most of the former Soviet republics were prone to conflicts, and many have had civil wars and insurgencies. In Russia, two republics, Chechnya and Dagestan, have had violent secessionist movements. What is secessionist movement? When any part of the country wants to move away or secede from the nation, it is called secessionist movement. In Central Asia, Tajikistan witnessed a civil war that went on for 10 years till 2001. In Azerbaijan's province, Nagorno-Karabakh, some local Armenians wanted to secede and join Armenia. In Georgia, the demand for independence has come from two provinces, resulting a civil war. In East Europe, Czechoslovakia split peacefully into Czech and Slovaks. Yugoslavia also split into several provinces like Croatia, Slovenia, Bosnia, and Herzegovina after 1991. So, tensions also emerged in the Central Asian republics. They were rich in hydrocarbon resources. Therefore, it means Central Asia became a zone of competition between outside powers and oil companies. After the 9/11 incident, you know what happened in 9/11? On 9/11, terrorists attacked the World Trade Center in New York and some other parts of US. So, after the 9/11 incident, US made a military base in the region and paid the governments of Central Asia to allow US airplanes to fly over their territory in war with Iraq and Afghanistan, because the terrorist Al-Qaeda Afghanistan was the home or is the home of the terrorists, Al Qaeda. So they wanted to finish Al Qaeda. However, Russia treats these countries as near abroad, as they were near to Russia's, and believes that they should be under Russian influence. Understood? Now, what was Indo-Russian relations in India and post-communist countries? Indo-Russian relations are embedded in a history of trust and common interest and are matched by popular perceptions. Indian film heroes from Raj Kapoor to Amitabh Bachchan are household names in Russia and many post-Soviet countries. So, there was a good relationship. Russia and India share a vision of a multipolar world order. More than 80 bilateral agreements have been signed between India and Russia as a part of the Indo-Russian Strategic Agreement of 2001. India stands to benefit from its relationship with Russia on issues like Kashmir, energy supplies, sharing information on international terrorism, access to Central Asia, and balancing its relations with China. But how is Russia benefited from the relationship? There are some reasons. India is the second largest arms market for Russia. Since India is an oil importing nation, Russia is important to India and has repeatedly come to the assistance of India during its oil crisis. India is seeking to increase its energy imports from Russia and republics of Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan. Russia is important for India's nuclear energy plants and assisted India's space industries by giving cryogenic rocket, satellite launching rocket when India needed it. A new chapter is added in this chapter 2, a new point, the Arab Spring. In 2021 syllabus. The Arab Spring was a series of anti-government protest uprising and armed rebellions that spread across much of the Arab countries. It began in response to oppressive regimes and a low standard of living, starting with the protest in Tunisia on 18th December 2010. What was the incident behind it? On December 17, 2010, a street vendor named Muhammad Bouazizi set on fire on himself in front of a government office in Tunisia in protest against the government's dictatorship, corruption, poverty, unemployment, etc. And that incident turned into a political movement. That time, the president of Tunisia was Zine El Abidine Ben Ali, who was the president from 1987 to 2011, What was the goal of this protest? They protested for democracy, for fair election, economic freedom, human rights, etc. What happened? The demand for democracy that started in Tunisia spread throughout the Muslim-dominated Arab countries in West Asia. Hosni Mubarak, who had been in power in Egypt since 1979, also collapsed as a result of massive democratic protest. The influence of Arab Spring could also be seen in Yemen, Bahrain, Libya and Syria, where similar protests by the people led to democratic awakening throughout the region. So, our chapter, The End of Bipolarity, is completed here with this discussion. Thank you.